again, and welcome to episode 8 of Just Ask Kathleen. Thanks again to everyone who's emailed in, I really appreciate it. This first email is from a lady I'm going to call Rosemary. Me and my boyfriend started living together last year. I love him and we really do get on well. This is going to sound really trivial, but aspects of living with him are driving me nuts. He leaves the milk out with the lid off when he's used it. He leaves the top off the toothpaste and squeezes it in the middle, so there's a lot of wastage as it gets so screwed up you can't use the remainder at the bottom. He leaves his dirty washing on the bedroom and bathroom floor, and I end up tidying it up and not saying anything as I don't want to sound like a nag. It really wears me down. What should I do? P.S. When we were dating, I never saw any of this, as he must have tidied up before I came round. It wasn't that I didn't notice, it really wasn't like this. Well, Rosemary, these little things that annoy you now will only escalate, actually. So if you don't address it. So you really need to find a way to have a conversation with him about this. You say you really love him, which is great, that's good. But these things are driving you nuts. If they're driving you nuts now, you absolutely have to address them now. The thing is, you've also possibly not helped him by tidying it up after him. Sometimes people do things kind of unconsciously, leaving things, they come back in, it's all been tidied away, perfect. It's been dealt with, I don't have to deal with that. So it's a really good idea not to tidy up after him, first of all, but also to speak to him about the fact that you are really getting annoyed at the things he does. The toothpaste one did slightly make me laugh because my kids used to do that, they used to twist it, but I haven't known adults do that. Right, so you need to have a conversation with him first about the fact that there are things that are bugging you that may sound trivial to him that you need to address, and tell him what you have written to me here and say you won't even have noticed it because lately I've just been doing it, tidying up after you, straightening up the toothpaste as best I can, putting the lid on the milk and putting it back in the fridge. But when we do that, we stop the progression of somebody learning by their mistakes. So there's no point in clearing up and then not expecting him to just carry on doing what he was doing, because why would he bother changing in that way? So let him know that you're not going to do that anymore, but you're not prepared to live in a mess with dirty laundry on the floor and in the bathroom and the bedroom. Just be very clear about it, because if you don't address this, you'll just get really bitter and fed up, and your mood will get lower and your relationship will be affected by that. So it's all about being emotionally honest and constructively expressing what you genuinely feel. So please do that as soon as you can, Rosemary, and all the best. I hope that works out for you and that you're able to get him to reverse some of these habits that he's got into. This one is from a chap I'm going to call Trevor. I live at home with my dad. I'm 32 years old now. I did travel for several years but came back to the UK last year, and I'm now living at home with dad as I save up for my own place. I've noticed that my dad has developed a noticeable tremor in his hands, and I don't know what's causing it. He's a very private man and hasn't mentioned it since I've been back. Should I say something? Well, Trevor, you're obviously concerned about this. You know, you've noticed this tremor, and it could be a sign of some illness that your dad has, and I would definitely encourage you to speak to him about it. It's difficult when somebody's very private and isn't somebody who's open about health issues, or just, you know, prefers to keep things very, very quiet. You know, just choose your moment, I think. You know, if you're sitting with him one evening, or even if you're having supper together, you might say to him, Dad, I've noticed that you have a bit of a tremor, a little shake in your hand. How long has that been going on for? That opens the door for discussion, and then perhaps you can encourage him to go to his GP, mention it to his GP, and ask him if he'd like you to come with him. If he's worried, would you like company to visit the doctor? I think it's not a good thing to ignore, especially if you've noticed a marked difference and he didn't have this tremor before you left. Yeah. Please do have a conversation with him and encourage him to go to his doctor, and offer to go with him if he's nervous about that. Thank you again, Trevor, for emailing. And this last email is from a lady I'm going to call Tracy. I'm really lonely. I was paid off and had to relocate when I found a new job. I like to go to the gym, but I've not found the courage to go yet. I was a sociable person, but I just feel out of my depth in this new town. I just don't know where to start. Well, Tracy, I'm really sorry to hear that, and it's unusual nowadays to hear about younger people feeling lonely. We're always reading and watching television programmes about older people in our community feeling isolated and alone, but it is not exclusive to them. It really can affect people across the board, and here you are, a woman of working age, feeling that isolation as you've relocated. So I don't know if you work with colleagues or what your work environment is, but I would start off by speaking to the people around you, asking if they go to the gym or if there's a running group that you could join. But I would certainly say that your first step is to sign up to something like a gym. And I know it's daunting at first, but it's the only way to break this cycle of loneliness. So you go along, you sign up, and you perhaps, first thing you do maybe is a class of some kind, like Zumba or yoga, where you're with other people in a group setting, so that conversations can happen at the end or at the beginning of these classes, and you start to feel like you're more involved and you're more part of that community. The other thing is going to the library. They often have things up on boards there talking about classes, night classes that are starting, or a reading group that might happen at the library once or twice a week. There's lots of stuff out there, I'm sure, but you need to recognise if you're feeling down, the only way out of that is by taking the first steps toward creating a life that enables you to have more interaction with other people. This is an exciting time if you've got a new job and a new location, so embrace that opportunity to start again and build a network of friends around you. And I wish you all the very best with that, Tracy. I really do. That's going to be good. Look at it in a different way. New gym, new opportunities in the gym, new friendships. It's all going to be good. Okay, well, thanks again for watching today, and remember you can email me at justask@kathleenkettles.com if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye.